Hey YouTube, this is Steve over at Tower Genius, and want to cover a few topics shortly, but want to go over them. What can we expect in 2026? And as I record this, it's January 6th of 2026. It's a new year in the wireless industry. A lot of changes going on in the industry. If you're following anything, or if you're not, Verizon Wireless laid off over 10,000 employees at the end of last year, and the industry in general is tightening the belt, and we saw a lot of that last year in 2025. What can we expect as far as cell tower lease rates and things like that are concerned? So, just the economics, and I've gone through this. If you watch our videos, you can see in the different lists. I talk about how the values are calculated, right? The even U.S. Cellular towards the end of the year, they were acquired by T-Mobile, right? So U.S. Cellular kept their towers. They're now called Array Digital Infrastructure, but it's running off the T-Mobile network, right? So that you see consolidation happening. If you had Dish on your rooftop, you don't have Dish any longer. They're going to be decommissioning, sending you termination letters. If they offer you money to keep the equipment there, don't take the money. Have them remove the equipment. That's very important, and restore the premises to its original condition, so you don't want to be stuck with someone else's problem. So yeah, it was a wild ride last year in 2025. What we have seen this year, this past year, and I expect to see it in 2026, is more of the same. The carriers, driven by Verizon and AT&T, using these various cell tower companies, let's say out of Boca Raton, Florida, and other places, and there's a lot of build to suit going on, right? So, but what the tower companies are doing now is really pushing down the rents, pushing down the escalators, the rental escalators, and asking for longer term leases. So typically, historically, a normal cell tower lease was like a 5-year initial term with 4 additional 5-year renewals, or maybe 5, so 25 or 30-year lease. And it's very typical to see a 50-year lease or longer. Like if you deal with Tillman Infrastructure, you'll get like a 10-year initial term with 17 additional 5-year renewals, something crazy like that. Also, the rental escalators, we've seen where it's like 0.99% annual, so like less than 1% annual escalators, and these companies are out of their freaking minds. The rate of inflation, again, it's way below CPI. So if you do the math on that, you're going to be your money loses like a very, very large percentage. You can do the math on it, but depends on how long your lease is. You're bleeding money every single year when your rent does not follow inflation. So, what do you want to ask for? Obviously, 3%. They're not really giving it any longer. Unless you have some leverage there, you're probably not going to get that. But again, the economics of these deals are these carriers, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, pay the tower companies roughly $2,000 a month to be on those towers. So your rent is coming out of that money, right? So you're not going to be able to get $2,000 a month on a cell tower on a ground lease. It's just not going to happen unless you're a utility or a municipality and you can kind of control what happens there. Okay, that's separate. If you have a separate ground lease with Verizon, T-Mobile, or AT&T. Similarly, if they're on your rooftop, then the economics change on that. So you can expect to see, these lower rents in areas where there's multiple choices available for properties, where there's a high supply of places where they can put these towers. They're going to offer you $500-600 a month. Why wouldn't they? Right? They're trying to get the thing for the cheapest that they possibly can get. And there's no protection against if you have some neighbor, that'll take $500 or $600 a month. You can't protect against that. They're going to find the fastest way, to get the lease done. So if the other thing I just want to put out there, if you have a lease renewal, definitely talk to us. Give us a call at 888-313-9750. If you're coming up on a renewal, if you're within 5 years of the lease, of a tower lease that is renewing, or if you have a rooftop lease that's like 2-3 years out, and you have questions about the values, you definitely want to talk to us about that. We can help you with the renewals, also with the lease buyouts. Again, the market is very interesting. If you are, and I know there's a lot of baby boomers out there that are, oh, I'm never going to sell my lease. And then we get calls, oh, you know what, we decided to sell. If you have questions about selling the cell tower lease easement, if you've gotten a bunch of different lease buyout offers, you're trying to figure out what is the value, what can we do here? I would have you, recommend that you call us. Fill out a contact form at towergenius.com, and David, Bob, Kevin, or I will get in touch with you usually within a few hours, as soon as we can. So also Mansour might give you a call too. So we've got a growing team here at Tower Genius. We can help you with new cell tower leases. We can help you with any type of carrier conflicts or issues that you're having to try to resolve them. Lease renewals, extensions, cell site upgrades on the rooftop, any amendments, any easement sales, lease buyouts. We can provide you and your attorney with expert feedback and guidance and help you make sense of all this craziness in the industry. Also, you're going to be seeing a lot more rent reduction letters from our friends in Southern California at MD7 or Black Dot. Some of these companies out there, they're sending out rent reduction letters, lease optimization letters, and optimization. Again, it's optimizing their favor, not your favor. What are the chances of them moving these sites? Now I've heard, oh yeah, T-Mobile's moved all these sites. I talked to some guy in California a few months ago. Oh yeah, I've got 24 sites that we're moving, and we're probably going to move this one too. I'm like, yeah, over my dead body, you're not moving this thing, and and they're not moving it. So it's if they're moving a cell site, it's typically because of an eminent domain situation. They're usually not going to move your site over a $500 rent reduction, but they do a really good job at scaring the heck out of landlords into signing these terrible, 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 stinking, awful deals. So if you have a question about a letter that you got, if you got the LOP, the LOP, lease optimization program, and your participation is voluntary, but we might terminate the lease anyway, you have questions, give us a call at Tower Genius. Our number is 888-313-9750. Visit us at towergenius.com, and look forward to talking to you here in 2026.